I wanted to chat for a few minutes about things that I learned this year as I was gardening. Things that I liked better, didn't like as well, and that kind of thing. So let's roll the music and then we'll do that. This is some of the things I've learned and mistakes I've made. I started out this year as the first year that I've planted all my own plants, all my own seeds in my greenhouse and set them out in the mulch. And overall I liked it. It worked well. I had hardly any weeds. It was just easy to do, easy to take care of. A little more work in the early spring when I'm raising all the little seed starts. But there's a couple of things I learned about that. First of all, if you can save your seeds, and they're good for 3 or 4 years, really. But I messed up last year, and I didn't realize I'd done it. I had my little carry-around box that I used, that my son built me, out in my garage from mid-March until the 1st of May, which that's the season where we're planting things. And it just got too hot and too moist in the air, and the seeds that I saved from last year, some of them didn't work. So I ended up buying plants, which brought on another cute thing. I had to buy pepper plants. Now I bought 2 little 4-packs of banana peppers. Just some sweet peppers that I can cut up and put into bread and butter pickles. And out of those 2 4-packs, I got 7 plants like this that it's got banana peppers growing on it. No problem. But one of them came up with this. 1 out of the 8 plants, and that sure looks like a jalapeno, doesn't it? I thought it was kind of funny. And it's all right, I can put those into the pickles too, because to be honest with you, I like the bread and butter pickles that have a little zing. You know, you taste sweet at first, and then you get that little bit of, wow, that's kind of hot, you know, too. All right, in starting seeds, I found out I don't like these. These are inexpensive, and they're easy to use, but there's one problem with them. The silly things, it's too easy for them to get too wet and kind of stay wet, because they're always sitting in a tray, and you know, you water them from underneath if you have time. Sometimes I just go in there with the water can and, you know, rain on them, because sometimes that's how much time you've got and what you need to do. But it's just too hard for them to stay a good moisture content. I've had things that had damping off, where the seedling is starting to get, you know, a little bit, and then it just kind of fizzle out. So some of the seeds I planted in these, which are peat pots or jiffy pots. Had 100% luck with these. Didn't have any problem. You could go in, you could just shower it with a watering can, and all 6 sides of it would dry. You could let them just drain. No problem at all. Used them on the strawberry plants, used them on my tomatoes, and really had good luck with them. So I enjoyed that. All right. The third thing is, if I'm at 3, I may be past it, I don't know. Never ever forget, when you're starting seeds in little pots or little containers, boy, make markers to put in them as you go. I planted in my very back bed some watermelon, some little sugar baby watermelon. I'm kind of excited. I got one about that big out there growing. So they're obviously going, and they're just vining all over the place. And I planted some cantaloupes. Now, somehow or another, something got misunderstood because I've been picking scallop squash off my cantaloupe vines and I'm confused. So next year I'm going to remember, you gotta make markers for this stuff. It just doesn't work any other way because there's just too many things that sort of look like something else, and it's easy to get them in the wrong spot. I did the same thing with squash in general. My squash plants are in this bed. Well, I had two kinds. I had some scallop squash, which is my favorite, the little summer squash, patty pans. And then my dad gave me a packet of butternut squash seed. And I thought, well, I'm not big on winter squash, but I'll plant one or two vines and we'll see if we can't find ways to use it and see if we don't like it. Well, I seem to have got them confused. I think I've got 4 plants of butternut and 2 plants of scallop. So, you know, that's just how it is. No biggie. So, that's some of the things we've learned, some things not to do. The raccoons just are not going to leave the garden alone. That's it. They're not going to leave that sweet court alone. So next year, either if it's important enough to me, I'll just have to erect a little electric fence around the corn area to keep those raccoons out of it. And it's only for like 3 or 4 week period, just a short period. They don't bother it until they start to tassel. When they start tasseling and the silk starts coming out, that's when it needs to be protected from then till you pick it. So I might lay off corn next year. If I don't, I'm going to have to do something on the order of that to just keep the raccoons absolutely positively out of it. And, you know, it might not hurt to do something like that because, you know, we've got neighborhood cats running around. And we had, when we planted the carrot seeds in the bucket, and I planted 4 buckets, 2 different varieties. I had a Chutney and then I had a fancier variety, a hybrid. Well, we planted those and watered them in, and about 2 days later, before they started to sprout, one of them cats had got in and dug around in one of those buckets, and I'm sure he left me a surprise. So I don't know, maybe a little fence of some sort might be a good idea anyway. Well, that's all, folks. I don't want this to be a long one. I'm going to do, we're going to do pickles this week, towards the end of the week. So when I do that, we're going to make a video there and show you how to make bread and butter pickles, how to use up some of the stuff in your garden. And we might do another cooking thing. I haven't decided for sure on that one, but I'm being pressured to do a cooking thing. So thank you. Y'all have a quality day. Appreciate you watching.